So if you have been subscribed to me for some time, you know that my name was Genesis, and I have changed my name to Exodus, and I kind of just want to take the time to share my testimony and my life story. And I'm not doing it necessarily for money or for fame or for validation, because I'm a small creator, and I I have been told by one person that I made an impact on them and that I inspired them, and I'm grateful that person told me. And I'm making this video right now for me. That's what I'm making this video for. So when I was born, I was named Genesis, and I had the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck. By the way, before I go further, because this is my testimony and I've gone through a lot in life, I am gonna say that this video is definitely a major trigger warning of a lot of things, okay? Everything, okay? It's trigger warning. So essentially, I had the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck, and I know that my baby picture was literally put up at the church that my parents went to so that people could pray over me. And I was born to an abusive Caribbean mother. She was very, very beautiful. However, manipulative, and the list goes on. And I went from her to an abusive man who, and this was in high school and college, who I was his trap queen in Florida, where I'm from. And I faced everything during that. And he had plans to unalive me. He was the type that if I can't have you, nobody can. And I almost unalived myself leaving that relationship. I almost drove myself through the leasing office of the apartments we were living at, and I had these wings of my ancestors lock me to the seat like a seat belt. Luckily, my dad helped me escape that relationship. My dad was a wealthy businessman, and so he moved me to Georgia with him. And it was then that I got to start my healing journey. My dad was like almost like Hindu. He wouldn't have called himself that, but he had like a saltwater pool in his neighborhood. He had like acres of grass that I could walk on barefoot. I started to grow my tarot business, and I was able to heal. But a lot of the trauma from my childhood and my young adulthood caught up to me, and my brain wanted to break from this reality, and I had a psychotic break. And it was worse than Britney Spears 2007, if you get my drift. And when I got out of that, I had to teach myself comprehension again, like reading comprehension again. I couldn't write. I couldn't do yoga. But I survived. And by the way, I didn't even mention all the racism and homophobia I went through as well during my childhood and young adult years, even from my own family. And I went on to have a very thriving career in theater. I met some incredible people. So people I'll never forget in my theater career. And my dad's cancer about 2 years ago ended up spreading, okay? And because of that, we lost our home, we lost everything. And I was at the bottom. And since then, for the last 2 years, I've faced a lot of housing insecurities. And I've manifested, luckily, and haven't had to sleep on the street. But every day my food was not always, like, I didn't always have my fridge filled. One meal a day with Chick-fil-A was what made me happy. Homophobic chicken always makes me happy. If you know, you know, okay? I feel like I'm forgetting things that I wanted to share, but losing my hero this January has been a loss of self, right? And in order to turn over a new leaf, I had to start a new chapter. I had to become Exodus. I could no longer... Genesis did enough. Genesis did enough. So now I'm trying to start a new life of joy and pleasure, and I'm trying to break free from the chains of poverty, trauma, pain, and this is my exodus, right? I've hard launched my OnlyFans because I just want to look pretty every day. I just want to be sexy. I just want to be admired. I'm going to check in with myself to make sure I'm like sharing everything I want to share. And my cup is overfloweth with delusion. That's all I have is delusion. And my ancestral team. and God and angels and ancestors and guides. I don't have anything else but my cat. I do have my cat, Puzzle. And she's my missing puzzle piece.